What is good, people? It is an absolute stunning Friday afternoon this afternoon, and we are going in for a lovely lower session today. Going to record the session, do as much as I can, recover it when I'm back, cover pre-workout and post-workout as well, and that's that for today's upload. But let's get straight into making the intro workout, because this will be getting set straight into the freezer, just so it's absolutely frozen by the time I come to train. So again, we're going in with 5 grams of L-glutamine. This full intake throughout the day, 20 grams. So it's 10 grams in the morning, 5 grams inter-workout, and 5 grams PM as well. Then we're going in with 5 grams of creatine, 10 gram total load over the full day span. Then we're going in with 30 grams of ESN's Hydro Load. Absolute great supplement this for your inter-workout. So this is not only providing you with the carbs to keep your performance nice and high, this also has a hydration formula within it, so you're getting them electrolyte balance throughout your full session, especially in the warm weather, keeping you hydrated as much as possible and keeping Trained by JP hydration in as well. What flavour is this? Melon and apple. This one is an absolute game changer as well, I must say. Really, really good products put together here. 10 grams of that as well. Then we'll finish it off with 20 grams of the essential amino acids, providing your protein intake is still quite substantial throughout training. So 20 grams of this going in as well. There's quite a powdery, there is quite a lot that goes into this intra-workout drink, but quite a powdery one. You can see I get absolutely covered in it every time. And then also, just to add in the mix, 2 grams of my mix of salt that I have on my daily intake, of 8 grams pink salt and 6 grams low salt for the added potassium and sodium. But anyways, that is the intra-workout. I will mix that, fill it back up, set it in the freezer to cool off nicely, and then get it out as I'm leaving to train. But I'll catch you back when I'm about to make my pre-workout. Let's get it, people. And we are back, people. The pre-workout is getting made. So starting off, you have your bowl here. I've made basically your dry ingredients. So I've got 100 grams of ESN rice pudding, 6 grams of ESN flavour powder, carrot cake flavour, which is absolutely banging, by the way. Then I have 2 grams of salt as well from your daily intake. This separate bowl here to make my whey paste, I've got 30 grams of Trained by JP Performance Protein custard cream flavour. So we're going with the carrot cake with the custard cream, a little dash of cinnamon on top. Obviously the dark chocolate will get added. But obviously we've got the bowl here, trusty bowl. Everything goes in this bowl. Either this bowl or Tupperware. That's all I eat out of. Eat like a dog. Live in a box, as Jay Cutler would say. But anyways, got my dry ingredients in. I usually aim for about a 1 to 3 of boiling water to what rice pudding you've got. So a little bit over, probably like in between 1 to 3 and 1 to 3.5. Then straight away we're going in with a little whisker root to get it moving and get it all mixed together. Then once you've got it mixed together, ideal scenario, you just let it sit to one side and just leave it to rest for a bit, because it thickens up eventually. Then it will be getting banged in the microwave to just thicken up a little bit more, because I do prefer it when it's a little bit thicker. I'm not a cream of soup or rice soup kind of guy. I quite like me stuff to be quite thick. So obviously I'll wash all that after. But anyways, there is also 100 grams of banana going straight in this dish, which, fingers crossed, this one banana, what we're saying, how much we're saying it weighs. So I'm guaranteed it's over, because I go through bananas like there's no tomorrow. 103.9. Ooh. 99.8. 100 on the dot. That's how we do it round here. So anyways, there's that. But anyways, once the rice pudding's mixed and all the consistency is good enough, the dark chocolate will be going in, then the banana, then it'll be getting banged back in the microwave, because if you don't microwave your rice pudding or your cream rice once you've added the banana in to soften the banana, gives it a little bit of a sweeter touch as well. Absolute game changer. You're onto something if you're doing that already. But anyways, Lindt, 85% dark chocolate going straight in the bag. 10 grams of that just for added fats pre-workout, because obviously you want to hold on to the carbs that you're digesting and getting into your system. You don't want to just burn through them carbs as quick as possible. You want to hold on to them a bit, so that's what fats provides you. That is why we don't have fats post-workout, because your aim post-workout is to replenish your glycogen stores as quick as possible. Tripped over my words there. And fats, obviously slowing your digestion down, is only going to slow that process. So it is pointless having that much fats post-workout. Minimum a few grams, to say the least. Pre-workout 5 to 10 grams would be ideal. That's exactly a sweet spot for me. Everyone's different. Don't just cater, and I'm not saying everything's right that I do, but that's what works for me, especially with training as well, which you will see soon. That's what works for me, but I'll catch his back once it's made. So let's just quickly grab this out the microwave. As you can see, thickened up very, very nicely there. Try not to spill it. But anyways, dark chocolate's going straight in. Oh, it's actually melting already. But what I like to do is I like to get a big chunk of it, smack bang in the middle, and push it down. So it's like a big hole of melted chocolate smack bang in the middle of your rice pudding. Then I sort of just break it up. Oh, it's proper soft. Nightmare. Break it up into nice little portions. Can't be wasting any. And then once that is melted nicely, the banana shall get added. And again, just finish that bit off. But banana into small slices, as you do. And I like to also push it down a little bit as well, just so it sits nicely into the rice pudding. Chopping it up into thin slices so I get quite a nice coverage. I like to take some quite nice due care and attention into my food, because enjoying your food is one thing, but it also helps you stick to your plan. A lot of people at RC just make the food, bang it together and shit, like either microwave veg or something like that. Like, who the fuck uses microwave veg at this day and age? Just cook it yourself in the oven and stop being a lazy bastard. But anyways, each to their own. Whatever you can manage. And don't give us a time bullshit, because everybody's got the time to cook some veg. It's the exact same principle. But anyways, banana's going in, ran over. Banana is sitting nicely, all portioned out, lovely jubbly. Then finish that bit off. As you can see, portioned out very, very precisely. Then back in the microwave for another 40-50 seconds. It's already been in the microwave for about a minute and a half after I'd mixed it and let it set a little bit. But anyways, obviously that's going to sit in there, and then once that's done, the whey paste will get added to the top alongside a small dash of the best ground sweet cinnamon. Another one that you can't beat. But this bowl of pre-workout is possibly one of the best tasting sweet craving treats that you could possibly ever had, especially if you're in a prep and eating this sort of shit. It doesn't even feel like a prep, doesn't even feel like a diet. It's so easy to eat, doesn't sit heavy in your stomach. Rice-based carbs, so it's very easily digestible. And it just tastes absolutely wicked. So I'll catch his back once it's fully made. And there we have it, people. The post-workout has been acquired. Ooh, stunning. Can't beat it. Goated flavours. Carrot cake, custard cream, cinnamon, banana. Top tier. And I'll catch his back after training. Welcome back to the tube, people. So we have been in and trained. Lower B. Absolute disgraceful session, to be honest. unbelievable session. Strength was great, everything moved absolutely great, but the heat is absolutely unbelievable. But anyways, came back home to a delivery, and I know exactly what this is. It's a protein that I've been waiting for ages to restock. Possibly the best flavour that ASN's ever released. But if I can get out the box, honey cereal. This is like eating sugar puffs just as a whey protein. You physically cannot beat this flavour going forward. So, post-workout is the rice pud. We've made the base, as we do. Unbelievable, nice and solid. The bloobs are going in. So this is 100 grams of rice pudding. Again, 2 grams of salt. That's my remainder of salt for the day, because I don't put salt in my yogurt meal, because again, I'm not a wrong'un. But anyways, 100 gram of bloobs going in, as you do. On top of that, just over the top, distributed evenly. 100 grams, one more, little touch over, get a big one out. Oh, 100 on the dot. Lick the bloob juice off. Sounds a bit wrong, doesn't it? Blueberry juice off. But anyways, there's that. Then I will get on to making the whey, and I'll give you a quick sneak peek of the finished product, and then we'll get sat down and I'll discuss the training, because I've recorded the full thing. So let's get after it, people. I'll show you this, give you a little taste test maybe, if I haven't eaten it already. But anyways, let's get into it. Yeah, we have it. Sugar puffs, honey cereal, basically sugar puffs. But anyways, tastes just like how it always has. So let's get this added, finished off. Must say, very moist session today. Like, it was so hot. So I'm going to probably have this, get showered, get all cleansed because of hygiene and all that, and then I'll probably sit down, go through the full lower session, hamstring focused, and get at it, because the legs need to grow, people. So there's plenty sets done here, plenty intensity, especially on lower B. But raisins ought to be added to this meal once I've scraped the rest of the protein out of here, because you don't want these scraps, especially not this protein. Raisins going in, especially post workout. 20 grams on the dot, as we do. Get that stuck into there. Do I add cinnamon to this? I might add a little dash just for the crack. A little dash, that was quite a bit. It always gets us and catches us off guard, that. But there we'll have it, people. The finished product. I love these flavour combos. Speculoos flavour powder, rice pudding, honey cereal protein. That's unbeaten. I saved this protein for about 2 months, literally 30 grams of this serving for 2 months at the back end of my prep, just so I could have it as my post-show meal. I love it that much. And the fact that it came back in stock, unbelievable. So I'll get this down as nice and easily, take my time, enjoy it, get showered, and I'll catch up with these after. And welcome back to the vlog, people. Post-workout has been absolutely demolished, as it should have been. It was absolutely delicious. That honey cereal protein went down a treat. But let's get straight into reviewing the training session. So we were in for lower A. Don't mind the piss water. It's apple flavoured. Absolutely love apple flavoured stuff, I must say. But jumping straight into the session, we started off with a little bit of arms. All lower days start off with a little touch up on arms. 3 sets of triceps, 3 sets of biceps, 2 movements. Blast them out. No drop sets, no back off sets, just straight sets. 3 sets per each exercise. Obviously feeder sets as if they're needed. Warm up sets. But anyways, started off jumping straight into a tricep push down. pardon me, the variant that we do for this is a bit different to just a general standing tricep push down. So obviously the bench facing away from the cable. Aim here is just prime stabilization, keeping your body as stable as you can, sort of bracing into the bench and hinging right at your elbows. Just imagine your elbows are just stuck in that position, tucked into your body, and you're just hinging from that point. Do not move forward. Really exaggerate the stretch going forward. That is my biggest aim across every bit of movement that I do. That's what works for me now. My training's changed drastically over the past few months, but overall, in terms of just in general contraction in connection with the muscle for me, that is what works best for me now. That is what the most improvements that I've seen over the past probably 8 to 9 weeks of just contracting that muscle and really, really milking everything out as much as I can. Holding that stretch at the top, holding that squeeze at the bottom, full extension to enable the triceps to fully contract as much as they can, drive as much stimulus into that area. But moving straight into a sort of Bayesian curl. Now I would prefer a much more narrow cable start to this, but unfortunately it was taken at this point in the gym. So the only person in the gym was using this machine. But anyways, we'll make do with what we can. Adapt, improvise, overcome. Improvise, adapt, overcome. Whichever way it goes. But anyways, again here, hinging at the elbow. Elbows slightly behind us. Not fully behind us, just slightly behind your hip. And just hinging at that elbow, really feeling that stretch and driving that squeeze as you're coming back up to that rep. Now again with this one, as I mentioned in the last video, imagine you drive and then pinky sort of like an external rotation inwards with the handle, because as you do that you can feel your bicep tensing. That touch more and that little extra connection will go a very long way. But moved into legs now, so we start off on calves. Rotate between a standing calf and a sitting calf raise for each lower day that we do, because we have two. This rotation is my standing calf raise. So again here, really milking the stretch and the squeeze at the top. My calves, some people say they're good, some people say they're shit. I still think they're shit, and they only look good when they're a bit contracted. But anyways, as they are, as you can see on the video, they look kind of good when they're in the contraction. I'm actually squeezing them at the top. But again, milking as much as I can. So many people over indulge on calves a little bit because people think calves can withstand so much weight. You see them on the calf raises putting 5, 6, 7, 20 kilo plates on a calf raise. Why? What benefit is that really doing for you? Nothing. You're probably going to snap your Achilles before you actually train any sort of part of your calves. But anyways, one thing that we focus on here is on the last rep of my back offset, 30-second stretch in the hold. Isometric holds are great for muscle stimulus and just driving as much tension through that muscle as we can in that stress position. That's where we are at our weakest. So driving as much stimulus through that part of the motion will create as much stimulus as we possibly can at that point in time. But there's my calves done, 30 seconds. There or thereabouts, because sometimes I lose track on my head, but it'll do. Moving into a single leg lying ham curl. So with this one, this is probably one of the most butchered exercises in the gym. So what your aim here is to just isolate that hamstring as much as possible. Every time I see people raising the glutes as they're driving, as they drive their legs up, the glutes start to raise or the knees start to raise. One of the biggest drivers for me that targets and isolates my hamstrings as much as I can, driving my glutes into the pad as I'm driving my legs up, driving my glutes into the pad and sort of letting that knee sort of come off the pad that little touch more will isolate my hamstrings as much as you can. Also, when you're doing this sort of movement, a lot of people don't realise you do not need your ankles smashing off your arse. 90% of the time, you literally only need to go to a 90 degree angle on your legs and your hamstrings will activate enough from that. But obviously switched over to the rested here and then switched over to the other leg. But my biggest motion here that I'm trying to aim for is, instead of driving through like an arc motion, that arc sort of plane of movement there, what I'm aiming to do on my hamstrings is drive up. So if you can imagine you're pushing your legs up instead of like back to your arse, drive your legs up and you'll drive a lot more motion through to your hamstrings than you think. But there's your hamstrings, and that's the top tip of the day. Moving into straight leg deadlifts, the goat. Any sort of pull off the floor, I absolutely fucking love. Any sort of hinge movement, it's what built me back to what it is now. In my posterior is going to be levels better than what it was this season next time round. So we started off, I usually go up in 20 kilo increments for my feeder sets. So started off at 20 kilo a side on the bar, wrap that up for about 3 reps, just get moving. Still same stimulus, slow eccentric, explosive concentric. Moved up to 100 kilo, done that job. I think I done 5 reps on that one. Then as we went from 5 kilos, again, same sort of movement, slow eccentric, explosive concentric, feeling that squeeze as much as I can. And a warm-up set for me isn't just blasting the weight out as much as I can. It is continuous movement of the exact same motion that I would carry out on my top set. So moved up to 140 again. This felt really good today. Really fucking good. So I knew, I was like, right, well, I'm going to push up to 160. 160 is usually been my top set at the moment anyways. But 160 today, 140 felt incredibly good. So I was like, this 160 is going to fly. So put it on the bar again, really set myself up for this, brace as much as I could. One tip on deadlifts, you're not trying to lift the bar. You're trying to push your feet through the fucking earth as hard as you possibly can. Once you realise that, the bars will tend to move a lot easier than what you think. But again, the control that I had within these reps was massive. Much better week in, week out on these straight leg deadlifts for me. The control that I'm getting on the eccentric, even on my top set weights, matching reps or increasing reps on a weekly basis, has been bang on for me. But this was a great set, and I must say I was fucking fried after this one. But all in all, I really love hinge movements. And if you want a big posterior on stage and you want to absolutely dominate from the back, get your hinges done and get heavy hinges done, but control them. Don't just smash your weight off the floor. But anyways, moved on to the back off set, which was 120 I think I went through. So yeah, so I went up to 160 and back down to 120 for the back off set. And again, just the slow movements, controlling it as much as I can and just taking it through the reps and through the motions as we could going forward. Moved on to a 45-degree leg press. It is only the only leg press that we've got in this gym, so I've got to sort of make use of what I can. Feet placement on this one is a lot lower because I'm trying to target the quads. So driving my hips into the pad while pulling myself into it will also create a bit more stimulus through the quads and allow for more pushing through the quads as you're driving that weight up. Key tip as well, my leg, as you can see, my feet placement is a slightly bit outwards, so this is going to target me out a sweep a lot more by having my foot placement ever so slightly outwards. You have 3 key points of pressure on your legs when tensing your quads. So imagine this is your foot, big toe, pinky toe, ankle, heel. These are your 3 points of contact that you're using to have a quad engagement. So as you're pushing through your quads, what you want to do is drive them 3 points into the ground or into the leg press, whatever you're on, and driving your like as much pressure through them 3 points as you can, while also trying to drive your knees sort of externally outwards. So the more external rotation while driving them 3 points into the floor will tense your quads up. That's how everything's done on stage. That is how we go about things. So when you actually utilize all them movements together while also pushing weight, your quads will fucking blow up. Moved from the leg press into a leg extension. Again, controlling as much as we possibly can here. Getting the stretch in as much as we can. Obviously, quads are activated through knee flexion. So allowing your leg to come beyond your knees as you're in that leg press movement, albeit I can't get a massive stretch on this leg extension, so I can just make do what I can, but I'm trying to just control that movement as much as I possibly can. Also, with the pad that goes just above your ankle, pretty much on your shin, the more higher you have that above your ankle, obviously don't have it fucking halfway up your shin, but roughly just above your ankle on the bottom of your shin, that will reduce mass amount of knee pain that you will probably be feeling through a leg extension. So move that shin pad a little slightly further up your shin a little bit if it is causing you knee pain. Then you will drive a lot more just through your quads and take it a lot away from your knees. But again, controlling as much as we possibly can here just to get as much out of the movement and milk it. Then we moved into a glute drive. By now my CNS is absolutely fried. I am done in. Leg press, straight leg deadlifts, bit of arms, which I just love in general at the start of a lower session because it just sets the mood for the session, especially doing arms at the start. It's great. But this lower session tends to be a bit more the taxing one. Hamstrings tend to be, then the other one's a lot more quad focused. But glute drive, again, slow movements, holding that tension right at the top of the rep. But I don't tend to push mass amounts of weight through this one. You will notice that you'll see a lot of people putting 5, 6, 7 plates aside on a glute drive. Fair enough if that's what you can do. I can't. Not yet anyways, but I will be working towards it. But I'd much rather feel that contraction that I'm getting through my glutes and posterior rather than the ego of putting a million plates on their machines. But this kills us off right here. But that is finishing off the session. Absolutely outstanding session. But the goal, grow the posterior, and to grow your posterior and grow your lower body, you're going to need intense sessions. So if I want to dominate these 3 that I've got here and just wipe the floor with them and put fucking endless amounts of golds all over my desk here as much as I possibly can, whether that is mind the doggo, she's a bit of an aggy one, and replace them ones up there, then I need to improve me lower as much as I possibly can. And the rest of my body will just come and go as it comes. Again, upper is just as intense as what it would be. But all in all, absolutely outstanding session. And that is going to wrap up today's vlog. So, if you did enjoy it, like and subscribe. I hope you are actually gaining some sort of benefit from these videos. And you are actually seeing the joy in it and sort of enjoying the process and welcoming into the journey of what I'm going through. And hopefully you can all share what you are going through, and hopefully I'm helping you along the way in terms of improving your training in general. I'm probably going to be covering a lot of posing, albeit my posing is really bad at the moment because my stamina is going a little bit out the window, even though I'm posing pretty much every day post workout bar lower days because I'm absolutely fried. And it's pointless pose on lower days because you're that inflamed, but especially with holding the information from the heat at the moment as well, I don't look the best. And it's not hitting us mentally as well as what I thought it was going to. But you have to endeavour the uncomfort to get better in the comfortable. So, to improve, you have to go through the shit times. You have to do what you need to do, and that's what I'm going through right now. So first for me, one of my first proper off seasons. Currently, what am I, 19 pounds up now from stage weight. Holding still decently meh, but it'll do the job. Get this first phase of the off season out of the way, probably a small little recomp, back to growing, small recomp again, then back to growing, then we'll probably jump into prep after that for 2028. So let's get it, people. Let's wrap it up there. Have a great rest of your weekend and enjoy the sunshine where you can. Stay hydrated and look after yourself. See you later.